I know that human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Hello and welcome to the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast. Here at Spoilt Milk, we like to discuss, dissect, and destroy guilty pleasure movies. And then we decide whether the film is truly spoilt milk, or whether it's ascended into a fine, luxurious cheese. So without further ado, let's go.
Warning, this podcast is full of spoilers for the title feature, and there's bad language from the start. If you've never seen the film, or you're offended by bad language,
fuck this podcast!
You have been warned.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast, where today we're going to be talking about Sharknado!
Oh yeah!
Open wide, you son of a bitch.
But before we do that, we've got to get on with a top 3 suggestion, which I think this time was sent in by Nick Galvin. And he...
Who's Nick Galvin? Is this someone else you work with?
Is this Nick Deere that you've galvanised in metal and he's got a new form?
Nope, it's another guy called Nick Galvin, someone from my work. Yes, I actually asked people, unlike others.
Whoa, I asked people. He just didn't get back to me.
Whoa. I don't have friends.
Yeah, right, okay then. Well, Nick wanted to know what were our favourite comic book to film adaptations.
Can I just say that I wish this question was from Nick Deere, and I'm really sad that it's not from Nick Deere.
Do you miss Nick Deere?
I miss Nick Deere.
Yeah, we all miss Nick
I love his little deer body.
His shitty man body.
So who's going first? I went first last time.
I'll go first.
Go for it.
Because I've got one.
You got one.
I got one.
You got one.
For it.
I think it's on Hobo's list.
Oh, look at his list. His private list. You know how he is about privacy.
This is an exam, you'd be expelled.
What are you going for? It better not be Tank Girl.
And it's not Tank Girl.
Fuck talking about Tank Girl anymore.
It is Constantine.
Nice. I'm glad you said that. Because that wasn't my number one, but I really wanted it to be my number one.
Do you like the comic, the film, or both?
I like both.
Oh, nice.
Completely different. Like, well, comic, graphic novel, film, and the TV show. 3 completely different takes on.
Wait, there's a TV show?
Yeah.
Who's in that?
I liked it as well. When it towards the end of the season, when it started taking off the training wheels of the network that was telling him he's not allowed to smoke and stuff.
Yeah.
It was a bit bullshit like that.
If you're going to go Hellblazer, he needs to be smoking, he needs to be drinking, he needs to be doing all the dicking.
The dicking.
Honest to God, the only reason that didn't work, the acting was good, the writing was good, it was only because the network really tamed it down.
Yeah.
Which network was it? Like AMC or something?
I don't know.
I think maybe AMC or ABC or whatever, NBC. Or,
American.
Yeah, one of the American really tame ones, and they wouldn't let him smoke or anything like that. But towards the end of the season, they were undoing bits of that.
So the Keanu film, who else is in that? Because I've seen it, but a long
Rachel
time ago.
Weisz.
Yeah.
Right, okay then.
And, what's that guy who always plays Russian people?
Putin.
No, what else?
Is it the guy who's in Armageddon? It was like,
Yeah.
the spaceship is here.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
And who's really good
He plays Lucifer.
Yeah. Oh, and he's so good as
Oh,
Lucifer.
and that really tall, like, androgynous woman.
Grace Jones.
No, she's in Burn After Reading as well. Jane Lynch. What the fuck is her name?
I don't know. She's right tall, right skinny.
RuPaul.
Right white.
Right, white.
She's a really good actress though, like solid actress, but she's normally portrayed in these roles where she's androgynous, like you say.
I don't know. I don't know what you mean.
Shit, let's Google it.
Yeah, what happens
Give
in
it a
it
Goog.
again then? So he does a lot of smoking, a lot of contacting the dead. Does
So
he kill demons or something?
Yeah. So in the film, he committed suicide.
Oh, right. Oh, I don't
because
remember that.
he could see, like, this is when he were a tiny kid, you get like flashbacks and stuff. So he could see demons, and he just didn't want that anymore. He didn't like it, so he tried to kill himself, and then he didn't die. He came back and he could just see more demons and stuff, and then he just decided to try and like fight some demons and that, because he realised they were actually going to hell, and this was his way of trying to get back to heaven.
Oh, right.
He then meets up with a police officer, which is Rachel Weisz, and she's a twin. Her sister died. Her sister committed suicide, but she didn't actually commit suicide. She was possessed and like jumped off a building, and because they were Catholic, and you can't commit suicide when you're Catholic, it means you don't go to heaven. And the film's just basically their story together and how he's trying to beat death, but also just be a good guy. Tilda Swinton, that's what
Tilda
her name
Swinton.
is.
Right,
she
okay,
plays
then.
Angel Gabriel.
Oh, nice.
And Shia LaBeouf is in this film.
Oh, yeah, and he is like little sidekick buddy.
Yeah.
What does he have like a catchphrase or something, Constantine?
The name's... Oh, no.
Does he?
No.
And he's like,
No, he's just...
No,
he's just
and I'm sure he
a
has
dick.
some kind of... No, Constantine has like a little catchphrase, and Shia LaBeouf, so he's trying to say it. Or something. He like copies him. I remember him being like
there's a little
annoying.
bit where like it's like, oh, the name's Constantine, John Constantine.
Like Bond.
Yeah. And Shia LaBeouf's like practicing that. Fucking Papa Midnight is my favourite.
Who's
he's
Papa
good.
Midnight?
Papa Midnight is the guy that's like the keeper of the balancer of good and evil. And it's like, this is my house!
Maybe we should do Constantine once. It
Yeah.
feels like you've got a lot to say about
He's
it.
he's the guy who's in the start of the first Guardians of the Galaxy film who goes, when it's like, I'm Star-Lord, it's like, who? It's that guy. He's in The Island. He's in loads of films. He's a really good actor.
Digimon Houston. Or
Yeah, that's
whatever.
it, yeah.
I think that's how you say it.
It's really good. Like, they've got like weird shit in there as well. Like, there's the electric chair from Sing Sing.
Oh, yeah, that's how he communes with it, doesn't he?
Yes.
Fills the water.
So he gets into hell.
I might need to watch this again.
When I was in college, the scene when Lucifer is talking with Constantine, when Constantine like slit his wrists,
Oh, it's...
I recreated that scene because I loved it so much.
What do you mean you
Which-
recreated it?
Because I got two actors and I filmed
Oh,
it.
and you filmed it.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
nice.
in a different situation. Like you chose a scene and you recreated it in a different situation and in a different context.
Which bit did you do, though? Did you do the bit where, like, he was getting dragged through, like, the glass and...
Oh, no, it was-
Lucifer, like, puts his hands in his chest?
No, none of that. No.
So not the good parts,
This
then.
is a college film. It's just about the conversation, the things that you could film,
Okay.
rather than the couldn't do any special effects.
So, Hobo,
Quite a-
what's your comic book to
So
film?
Constantine was definitely up there with mine, and I think the one that I had to go for is The Fountain.
What? Was that a comic book first?
So it was actually first the movie, the script,
Yeah.
and then they tried to get it made with
Brad Pitt, didn't they? Yeah.
And then when that failed, Aronofsky was just like, fuck it, I still want to see this in some form, and made a comic out of it.
I don't know what this is.
The Phantom with Rachel Weisz in, again.
Yeah.
With Hugh Jackman. It is an outstanding
The
film.
fountain or the
Beautiful.
phantom?
The Fountain.
Like a water fountain?
Yeah,
Yeah. But like Fountain Pen.
But it's
or
like
the
this
Fountain of
really
Knowledge.
sort of it expanded over time and space, sort of trippy, like three stories over. There's like the present, the future, and the past.
Okay.
Of these, it's kind of
But
like,
like the past is in like back with conquistadors, and the future is there is no Earth. He's floating in a bubble, basically.
yeah, it's
There's
mental.
a bubble surrounding the tree of life, and he's the last person alive.
It's kind of like 2001 meets a little bit of what's that Tom Hanks one with the Wachowski brothers?
What, the Cloud Atlas?
Cloud Atlas.
I've never seen that.
Bits like it's.
It's a proper love it or hate it. The amount of people I'm like, I love The Fountain, and they're like, it's fucking shit, and they hate it.
It's
Like
so
Hereditary.
beautiful.
It is, yeah, it's so good.
Don't even compare this to anything like Hereditary.
Yeah, it's...
I loved, and what I like about this the most is not only the fact that he was like, fuck it, I'll at least make a comic, and then they saw it and was like, we want to make this, but also it gives me hope for, there's a comic called The Sandman, which keeps trying to get made.
Yeah,
and
I've heard of that being made.
You seem like, I don't know if that was breathe in, was you had something to say, or...
I like sand.
So, are we talking about Sandman in the Spider-Man universe, or Sandman
Neil
in like
Gaiman.
in the like Vertigo universe?
Yeah, I think is it Vertigo that do it?
Because it's in the same vein as like Hellblazer and Swamp Thing. Because I'm sure it's like Swamp Thing and Sandman do like a bit of a crossover, and Swamp Thing comes into Constantine.
The original
Hellblazer.
Comic, I haven't read too much of Sandman outside, but the original comic is again a very sort of transcendent piece. It's sort of going through these different times and stuff, and that's what I really liked about the Fountain, the weird sort of detachment, but also at the same time, no, it's hard to describe. I don't know how you describe the Fountain.
Yeah, he describes it. Aronofsky just describes it as a love story told through 3 different times.
Okay,
but yeah, it's really powerful, and he does loads of. He shot loads of like space scenes, but in petri dishes. So he got like 2 little like blobs of chemicals and put them together, and then when they reacted, he filmed it like on a really like close-up lens, and it looked like space reacting, but it's just tiny little.
I feel
Petri
there's lots
dishes.
of that in cutting. Is it Tree of Life, the one with Brad Pitt?
Terrence
Malick.
Malick. Oh, I love Terrence.
And there's a lot of cutaways, which is just shots kind of like that, where it's like ink going in water, coloured ink going in water, and it's...
Well, he does that whole bit in that film where it goes from like the creation of the Earth through to modern day time. Oh, I can't believe I never knew that they made a comic of that. I need to read that, or a graphic novel. That's a good one.
Yeah. I'm glad I thought of that as well, because I almost went with something like 300 or...
Well, both of yours seem like way better than mine.
What's
I'm not just
yours?
going to be like Spider-Man or whatever. But I did think about going for... On your list, did you have Watchmen?
Oh, fucking Sin City as well.
Yeah.
I didn't have Watchmen. And
I'm not going for Watchmen. I really like it.
No.
That's the last good thing that Zack Snyder did. Probably the only good thing. 300's all right. But
300's better than Watchmen, because 300 is
no,
more...
I prefer
No.
Watchmen to 300.
Watchmen is good on its own, but if you know the comic, it's not good. It's I can't enjoy it.
Yeah, but
as much.
did you have you read like Hellblazer the comic?
Not there's quite a bit. It's not just one definitive Hellblazer. There's like a main graphic novel, but there's
there's Hellblazer, like John Constantine Hellblazer.
Yeah, I've read bits of that, but I haven't read everything.
So if you read the comic, it's nothing like the film.
Yeah. I know, especially the one with that was. I really wanted Spike from Buffy, funnily enough, to play Constantine when that was being announced.
Oh no, Keanu.
Yeah,
you gotta love
Keanu
Keanu.
nailed it. Like every part, and I enjoy that separate to the comic. Yeah, but
It's the same as Watchmen, though. Like, it's one of these things where you have to separate yourself from the things. Like, Preacher, fucking love Preacher.
Yeah, I like Preacher.
TV show.
Yeah. Is there a 3rd series yet?
it's out.
Oh, shit.
Started.
I'm
I
way
think
behind.
it's finished. In fact,
Oh, fuck. I'm way behind then.
I've not watched the 3rd series yet. I like to wait until it's all.
third series is good.
Is it?
Even the title sequence of a Preacher TV series just gets me every time.
Yeah.
They have the first like 2 minutes or something, and then they cut to title sequence. When that comes on, I'm just
But
hooked.
that's nothing like the comic book.
I've not read Preacher. I know I've seen like individual panels, and I know the premise of it, but I never got around to
Isn't
reading
that
it
Seth
before.
Rogen got that brought to...
Yeah, so Seth
TV,
Rogen's
him
got
and
it.
Evan Goldberg.
Preacher, and they're doing The Boys as well.
I thought he was involved in Sandman as well, on about bringing that to
At one point, it was Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, yeah.
Joseph Gordon really wanted to bring it, and he just wanted it made, and it just keeps falling through, which is gutting.
Well, I'm actually going to go for...
Sorry.
And do you know, the weird thing is, I've heard that this is based on a comic, but I didn't know it was, and I've never read it, but Road to Perdition, the Sam Mendes film with Tom Hanks.
No.
Because it's the only film I can think of where Tom Hanks plays a bit of a bastard, and he's not the villain, but he's definitely not a good guy in the film, and he murders people, and he's a hitman working for what's the guy's name? Paul, the really famous old guy who was in The Hustler, or was it Colour of Money?
Do you mean bald, but he's got side bits?
No, I'm kicking myself. I can't believe I can't remember anyone who listens to this. I'll bet you fucking did. But he's with him. And he works for him, and then Daniel Craig's in it, and Daniel Craig's an absolute bastard in it as well, and he sees him doing something, and basically they put a hit out on Tom Hanks, kill his family apart from his son. That happens really early on, and they go on like a weird road trip. But it's a really nice film, and too few people have seen it say it's a Sam Mendes film.
I'm one of those people I've still never seen. I know how good it is, and I've just never got around to watching it. Like, I know people keep recommending it.
Yeah, it's really good, and the soundtrack's really good as well.
Sam Mendes, he did Skyfall, or did he do Casino?
Yeah, he did
a James
Skyfall,
Bond.
and what was the last one that I didn't watch?
Oh, the newest one.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it either.
Oh god, I didn't.
I've seen Skyfall.
I don't like James Bond.
No, I really don't like James Bond.
Casino Royale is really good. If you're going to watch any James Bond film, Casino Royale.
It's all the same film. Like, he has to fight a bad guy. He's got some gadgets. There's a hot woman. That's it.
Casino Royale has him having his balls smacked with a weight on the end of a rope. He's sat on a chair like this with the bottom cut out, and this guy's just got a weight on the bottom and swings it under, and he's sat there.
But
naked
is there a bad guy, a hot girl, gadgets?
Yeah, but what other...
Well, there you are then.
What other film has any person being tortured by them having a weight smacked into their nuts from underneath?
I mean, there's probably going to be a few out there.
I haven't. The closest I can think to something as weird as that was when... I can't remember what film it was where they put a rat in a bucket.
And they put it on his chest and then set it on fire. And then
What is that?
is it fucking Snatch or something like that?
No. Yeah, he puts a hungry rat on his chest.
And he said eventually he'll start chewing through you to get out.
I feel like it's something old, like something like set in like King Arthur times or something.
No. It's like
some sort of gangster-esque.
Early mid-2000s film.
Oh, right, okay.
Swordfish. Not Swordfish, though. Maybe Fast and Furious-esque.
Well, do you know what? We'll have a think about it. And that's our top three. So I went for Road to Perdition. Katty, what did you go for?
Constantine.
And Hobo?
The Fountain.
Okay, we'll be back shortly to talk about Sharknado.
Get back to the pod.
Hello and welcome back to this Sharknado episode of the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast, the SPM podcast. I just thought of that. We could be called the SPMs.
SPM?
Yeah,
what?
Spoilt. Oh no.
What the fuck?
SMPs. Damn it. I got it wrong.
In SMP, some like political party?
I don't know, not BNP.
Oh no, that's SNP, Scottish National Party.
We're SMMP.
Oh, yeah.
Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast.
Shall we start again?
We'll have that noise.
So yeah, today we are going to be talking about Sharknado. Does anyone know the origin of Sharknado? Where it came from? Whose idea it was?
I think it's a storm in the middle of the ocean.
It's based on like a true story. Well, a true natural disaster thing that happens. Like there's been like alligators.
Yeah,
like flown down on
trout,
frogs. There were some frogs.
Yeah, because at the end of Magnolia, it rains frogs, doesn't it?
No, like why the fuck not some sharks?
I don't know what's better, Sharknado or Magnolia.
Do you know what's crazy? That they didn't choose the most obvious like horror movie sort of trope of when it rains spiders. Have you seen that in Australia?
No.
There's loads of spiders that they, at a certain time of year, equivalent to mating season or whatever, they'll spin little parachutes. So they get caught up in the air, so they travel over, and then they just all rain down. But because they've got loads of webbing as well, it literally covers fields of cobwebs, and it's like a blanket.
That sounds horrendous.
I don't think they make little parachutes. I think what they do is like what spiders in this country do.
Yeah.
Is they tie themselves to like something, and then like kind of jump, like bungee jump into the air when there's a breeze, and like because they're that light, they kind of float, but they've got like a string of web.
Yeah, I thought it was like they spin a string of web, but it acts like a parachute and it fills with air. But I could be.
What's the thing where you jump off a cliff and you've got like a parachute on you?
Base jumping, not free basing. I always get mixed up between the two.
Right.
Two very, very different things.
Have any of them got anything to
do
do
you know
with
what
base
free
hunter?
basing is?
No.
So free basing is like when you take a fuck ton of, like, it's like heroin and speed or something.
So wait, what was base jumping?
So base jumping is when you've got a parachute on your back and you just like throw yourself off a
The
cliff.
other one then?
Yeah.
What's the other one?
Free basing is like, it's like, I'm sure it's like heroin and cocaine mixed together, and you just take a fuck ton of it. It's called free basing. And when I got told that Richard Pryor had set himself on fire while free basing, I was like, the fuck did he set himself on fire while jumping off a cliff for? It's like, nah, Katty, not base jumping, free basing.
I would have thought that's what it was as well. Talking of fuck tons of drug use, I was talking to you before, wasn't I, about how the dude from Glee, like, who died doing fuck tons of cocaine and champagne or something, heroin.
Yeah.
Basically, base jumping.
Free basing.
He died, and his last ever tweet was about Sharknado.
Yeah.
He was like, booked himself into a hotel room and put, his last ever tweet was, "Oh, it's a shark tornado," and that was 13 minutes before he died. Like, just imagine that being your last ever tweet about Sharknado.
Well, when you said that, Richard was just like, why are you talking about nonsense on your podcast?
What? Oh, no,
Because
it's the other one was a peed, wasn't
I
he?
was just like, I don't know, and it's like, well, I don't know Glee.
Yeah, it's a bit of a
it seems
tragic
like they've
show.
got the range of, they've got nonces, they've got people who die from drug overdoses, they've got...
Well, the nonce, he killed himself as well with the drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got
Well, he hung himself
suicide.
in a wood.
After taking loads of drugs.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
they've
know.
also got teen stars that have turned out to be pop stars that are a bit over the top. They've got all the...
Ooh.
Wasn't there one of them that was... It turned into a bit of a teen pop star and then...
I don't think that's really in the same category, though, as
No, I mean, like...
drugs, suicide, and
they're covering all
paedophiles, and
the-
one of them was over the top.
Oh.
They're covering all the bases of things that Hollywood essentially turns people into and corrupts people in every single way. And
They were like, it was like 50 Shades of Corey Feldman, basically, every stage of his development. So, Katty, what's Sharknado about?
So, Sharknado is about a tornado filled with sharks. So, we have, they're in LA.
Yep. Santa Monica. I was there a couple of weeks ago.
Living the fucking dream.
we're driving around in a Mustang.
Yeah.
Mustang.
Apparently
Sally.
carjackings are very common. And you'll get shot over them.
Didn't happen to me.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I
You got
didn't get shot.
Have you checked yourself for bullet holes?
Oh, yeah, there is one.
So we got Finn.
Finn. Yeah, good name.
Finn.
Is that related to the Sharknado in any way?
Shark Finn.
That was the name of the character in Glee who died before sending that tweet. I've only just thought about
Oh,
that. His
was it?
character name was Finn, yeah. Crazy. Small world.
What a loop.
Jesus wept.
Yeah. What a loop. Anyway, yeah, we've got Finn.
So Finn,
God, he's fucking old, isn't he?
he's old as fuck.
God, he's old. Like, I'm surprised he's alive in this. He's so old. Like, why was everyone making such a big deal about him being so old at the beginning?
Are you on about the same person?
The main guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone was like, all right, grandpa, and stuff like that.
Because
And I
it was
like,
miserable, that's why.
Really? I was like, he looked about 38.
Yeah, compared to one, LA Hollywood stars, and two, the person who's trying to mac on the entire time, who's probably like
Mac
18.
on?
He wasn't trying to mac on her. She were all over him. She was sopping for Finn. Yeah, she was. Because he was like, no, I'm old enough to be your dad. And then that New Zealand guy was like, grandfather, or whatever. Anyway.
The guy who looked like a cheap knockoff of, what's his face?
Everyone?
No, who's the Joe Mangler, Mangler Dick.
Mangler Dick.
What the fuck is he?
Joe
in?
Mangle from Neighbours.
No, he's
Ted
now
Bundy.
dead. Not Deadpool. Deathstroke in the DC universe.
Oh, I don't know that guy.
He's in How I Met Your Mother as
Yeah,
Brad.
Don't watch that.
I don't know what.
Dreadful TV show.
He's in things. He's in Magic Mike.
Oh,
Oh, I've seen that.
You know, the dark-haired guy, Magic Mike.
there's like lots
Can't
of dark-haired
remember.
guys in
I've
Magic
never
Mike.
seen Magic Mike,
Oh, it's
so
good.
I don't know.
And watch it. 10 out of 10.
So what's
From
that about
Magic
again?
So Finn
Yep.
owns a bar
Yep.
on the beach. There's like a big storm coming. They're like, oh fuck, there's a tornado. There's like a storm. Everyone get out. And everyone's like, meh, whatever. And then it comes and there's fucking sharks in it, isn't there? He has to get back to his wife, well, ex-wife and kid to like get them safe and that because they live in Hollywood. And it's just a story about their adventures fighting sharks.
Yeah, isn't it?
Flying sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the first rule of these type of films is don't question it. Don't ask why. Because
why?
it's a film about sharks in a tornado that are eating people.
No, I don't give that a pass.
What's her face gets her hand bit off.
I don't mind
Who
ridiculous
gets the
films.
hand bit off?
Oh, is this not in this one? Might be the second. I watched the first one and the second one together.
Spoilers.
The captain gets his face chewed off at the very start.
Oh, there was just no need for that scene at all. What was that with that Asian guy where it was like, we will give you $100,000.
Oh, the drug deal.
Yeah, and the guy's like, we'll take it.
terrible
Was it a
drug
drug deal?
No, it was
a shark
it was
deal.
shark
wasn't it?
deal.
They were
Yeah.
like, was it for like soup?
Oh, I
or
didn't write
something?
down, but the
Shark
maths
can
of
do-
that really figured out. I was like, the initial offer was something like,
$100,000.
yeah,
then he
but
was like
if you
$1
worked it
million.
out per shark, it was like $30 or whatever per shark. I was like, that seems like you won't be able to make much of a markup. But then the counter offer, I was like, no, that's a good offer
So
because
$300
yeah,
per
yeah.
shark. I love that that's the part that's accurate.
I just love the fact that you've just sat there and figured out, like, I mean,
Oh, no, I was
shark
thinking,
meat.
if I was
like, what's
selling,
the going rate on the
Yeah.
market nowadays for shark meat?
if I was selling shark meat, a whole shark, I wouldn't want to pay more than $7 per shark because otherwise I'm not going to make enough money back on making this shady shark deal.
Sharks are fucking massive.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you need to make the most out of it. You
But
can't.
they only use the fins, don't they?
Shark fin soup.
Fin again.
Eh.
Make fin soup.
So, right.
I prefer it thick.
Oh, no.
Don't give me that look. You've said worse jokes. I hate you guys.
So, yeah, this tornado comes
Full of sharks.
full of sharks. I mean, that tornado's there for the whole film. And
Yeah.
it must be every shark on the planet.
I
gets-
mean, not every shark. No nurse sharks.
yeah.
Because they won't do it. They just flop
No
about.
shark cops.
Well, just being hit by one would still hurt, wouldn't it?
I mean, yeah, but you don't want to see someone get hit by a nurse shark, do you? You'd
That's
rather
true, yeah.
see someone get the face chewed off by like a tiger shark.
There's no street sharks.
There is
No,
no street
yeah.
sharks.
So they start raining down. They start attacking people on the beach, don't they, in really shallow water.
We've got that old pervy guy that's got his chair.
Oh, John Hurd from Home Alone.
Home Alone dad.
Like, Home Alone dad. Like, you kind of think of him as a wholesome, kind of classic actor from the
He's a
day.
pervert.
Yeah, he's a pervert grabbing a... What was her name? She had a fake name, didn't she?
I don't know, but she
Oh, she
had
gave herself a
shitty
name, didn't she?
scar.
Oh, Nova.
Nova, yeah. And then later she was like, this is my real name, and it was just something shit like Hannah Bob or something. But he was macking on her, which was pretty gross, and I was like, no.
Was he George?
He was the older guy
George,
who had,
yeah.
who had his chair and had his beers, his $4 beers. Not a bad price for Santa Monica Pier, to be honest. But
You would know.
us and the maths were happy with it. But then shit starts to go down, and they decide that they've got to get out of there, don't
Yeah.
they? And they get in. Is it his truck?
Mm-hmm.
And they start driving off. And
To
more
Hollywood.
sharks start coming. Is it on the way to Hollywood that they go through the 405 tunnel?
Oh, is that where it starts slowly filling up with water?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
And
where
them
John...
sharks are flopping about.
Yeah, that's where
That's
John
where George
Hurd-
dies.
George dies, doesn't he?
Even
all
though
a
he's
bit
like,
ridiculous.
he's like saved the day a couple of
He
times.
fought a shark off with his chair.
He
and
did.
Everything.
His trusty
He
chair.
took his chair with him.
This is one of those things where if he'd survived that, and then that story came out, like, this man saved a guy with a chair, and he'd be a hero for about 5 minutes, and then in American news, it'd just be takedown pieces for the rest of his life, like, this man groped this woman in a bar
Yeah.
20 years ago.
I mean, he did. Oh,
Yeah.
you seen that Bill Cosby's been sent down?
Yeah.
Oh, that time.
For the rest of his life, which is, what,
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
like,
what he's got.
10 years?
It's like 30-something years.
I mean, he's probably got about 10 years, though. Like, he's looking done.
Did he, like, drug people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I used to watch Cosby Show. My mum and dad used to put it on when I was a kid. And it was like, this is the pinnacle of wholesome families. Like, you want to be like the Cosbys.
Most of his drugging and rapings were when he were doing the Cosbys.
Well, one of the people who played, like, his son in it, he's, like, gone to prison and is now... I think that was for, like... child porn or something like that, and now...
What is it with amount of nonsense
Yeah.
nowadays?
So, well, it's not nowadays. They're all just getting caught. It's the
Yeah.
old school ones. So, nonsense aside, George dies.
It's sad.
A bunch of...
Finn
is
saves
it-
a dog.
It's sad.
Yeah, is it? How does he die?
He gets eaten by a shark.
In what way? Does it just swallow him whole, eat his face off?
No, so he tries to save someone else, doesn't he? And then does he go back for his chair?
Yeah, he
And
goes
then-
back for his stool and his
Yeah.
favourite stool, and that's how he gets a bit dead.
Yeah, like a shark comes and just like gives him a little chomp.
Nom nom nom.
Are we gonna brush on, like, the special effects in this film?
Not yet.
No, what are we saving that?
Yeah.
That's a whole segment in itself.
I fucking love them. I love how it's the same shark but like flipped around different ways,
Oh, I
and it's
hated
supposed to
that,
be like
yeah.
a different shark.
Just like, we'll just flip it and they won't notice.
Yeah.
And then the shots of, like, real sharks. Like that bit in the tunnel. They were, like, in a tunnel and then it cut to sharks in the sea.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
It started out, that opening scene, they shot it on a perfect day and then tried to cut
Yeah,
away to,
to
like, a
storms.
storm, yeah. But the lighting is, like, you've got really harsh, like, shadowed lighting because it's clearly a sunny day, and they're like, oh, a storm's coming, it's really overcast.
Yeah.
Like, is it balls?
Oh God, yeah. Well, we'll call it for part one there, and we'll come back and we'll talk a bit more about Tara Reid and his son Matt and some of the
Tara
rest.
Reid's in this extravaganza? Oh my.
Back shortly for part two. Oh, hey there, Hobo. What did you draw last week?
I drew a blue dog last week.
Well, that's very good. Hello and welcome back to part two of the Sharknado episode of the podcast. Podcast.
It sounds like a shit fart.
Podcast. I'd love it if I could fart the word podcast, even if it did start with
What, like people who can burp the alphabet?
Yeah.
One of my friends once farted the beginning of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Not the words, but...
Yeah, I'm guessing. Ow. Oh, another
It'd be
time
even
after that.
creepier if it was the words.
Yeah, it would.
Just a demon.
Yeah. A demon arsehole. Oh. Shall we pick up and talk about Tara Reid? Because that's where they're heading to. It's the next thing.
Yeah.
The big
Have
star.
you seen the interviews of her lately when she's talking about the latest Sharknado film?
When
Not-
she's off her badly done tits.
Yeah.
Shit tits.
And she's like, I just thought it was a great movie, and the people are like, so what did you think? Yeah, and she just like interrupts them, and it's really horrible.
What happened? What did Hollywood
What happened
do
to that
to
little
Tara Reid?
young
Drugs.
lady from American
Like,
Pie?
Yeah, she
Drugs.
she looked like she could act. She looked very good. She looked like she had a path laid out for her. But I honestly only remember seeing her in the American Pie 1 and 2.
She was
Big
in...
Lebowski.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's in Big
Bonnie
Lebowski.
Well, look at Brittany Murphy.
Yeah.
But she didn't. I mean, she died of drugs, but she didn't go downhill acting wise.
Oh, she did.
Did she?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that shit Ashton Kutcher film she made? Just Married or whatever.
Was that last thing I remember? Because she did voices for animated stuff, and she was in 8 Mile, and she was really good at that. What happened in between that?
I'm sure she did some really, really properly ropey films. I mean, Lindsay Lohan, for instance, she's made some. She's not really made shit, but she's gone downhill. It's just drugs
She's
and
not
that,
made
innit?
anything.
I mean, I think she owns a bar in Barbados or something like that. And
She made a
I
film
saw a
with-
video of her trying to dance, and she looked like she were on crack. She looked like she was freebasing.
Oh, really? Is that the Richard Pryor one?
Yeah,
Or
the Richard Pryor
or
one.
the spiders? So they go to pick up Tara
Base
Reid
jumping spiders.
and
Richard Pryor.
their daughter, so Finn, and what's Tara Reid's character called?
Who
gives a fucking shit?
Claudia.
April.
April, is that it? And they go to pick her up.
Claudia?
Is that the daughter? Who's a bit of a dick?
Oh, maybe. I wrote down Claudia somewhere.
But then the best character in the film comes in, Colin. Colin, Tara Reid's husband or boyfriend at the time.
Yeah.
He's great. He's in it for 2 minutes and he's just like, hey, fuck you, man, get out of my house. And he tries to fight that shark and just gets eaten. And that's it. He's just in it for a small amount of time.
My note is jerk boyfriend lasts 5 seconds, in brackets, loves 911. I assume he keeps talking about calling 911 all the time.
Yeah, but he says something about Beverly Hills finest
Yeah.
or something.
I think that's he's really sticking his nose
I
up their
thought you
arse.
were saying loves 9/11.
Or 911 the band.
yeah.
Maybe it's all three. Maybe he loved all of them.
Maybe, yeah. But then he snuffs it really quickly. And that guy makes the New Zealand guy makes a really weird comment about, looks like it's that time of the month.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? Why has he just made that period joke?
Because
I mean,
even
there's
though,
blood everywhere. Why
But what?
Are you telling me if we were somewhere and there were a fuck ton of blood, one of us
And
won't
I
make
just
some...
watched a man get eaten to death.
One of us won't make a period joke. We will sit here and talk about the most disgusting things that are even relevant to anything.
You are basically that New Zealand guy, aren't you?
Maybe.
You're Joe Mangler.
Oh, don't start this again, Joe
Pantanera. I can't say his name.
Joseph Mengele.
Yeah, Joseph Mangler. I don't know who that is.
It's the scientist that...
Is that
shit!
the Nazi scientist?
The Nazi scientist.
Dear, not again.
I can't believe I forgot that.
Right, moving on. So
You're
they get
definitely
out of
Joseph
that
Mengele.
house, all the windows explode because they do. And then they get in that car.
There's all the water's coming inside, but there's no water outside.
Yeah, and then that girl cracks out the portable TV. And I'm like, who the fuck has a portable TV? Do you remember? And she's like, and tunes into TV and watches a weather report. I'm like, who the fuck has one of these?
I have 5 portable TVs.
I just love the fact that it just weren't raining. Any scene that were actually outside the car, it just weren't raining.
So at this point, are they on their way to Matt? To get Matt, his son, who's got a really stupid, gittish face.
Well, they're on the way to safety, and then it's like, oh fuck yeah, the son
Matt's
that I
an
forgot about that
afterthought.
I've never mentioned. They go pick him up, in the army camp or something like
yeah,
that.
flight school. Matt's gone to flight school. It's like, why didn't you tell me? But then they stop off on the way to save a bus of kids, don't they?
Yeah.
I've got a note. At 48 minutes in, I forgot this was called Sharknado. Because I think for so long it's just... There's not a tornado. There's a tornado at the start, and then a tornado at the end, but everything in between is just there's a lot of sharks.
You see slight snippets of the NATO.
The NATO.
What animal could it have been that would have made like a better name, like than Sharknado? Is there anything that like ends in or, like tornado, like dinosaur-nado? Ain't the dinosaurs in the new one?
I've not seen the new one yet.
Sharknado donkey. Oh no, because that's still got sharks in it. Tornado donkey.
Morphnado, as in morph from...
The plasticine
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Oh, that was shit.
I don't think he's I
Exactly.
don't think he's an animal. He does look like shit, is what he said.
Actually,
But
shit.
it'd be like Terminator 2 meets Sharknado. So he could morph into anything. You
Yeah.
can't see where he is.
Alligator-nado.
Oh, that would have been better. Like a Lake Placid kind of feel.
Oh, Lake Placid's a good movie from what I remember.
Unlike this. So they're going to get Matt. They call off to stop off at some bus. He
Yeah.
does some base jumping, doesn't he?
He does do some base.
and some freebasing, but
Yeah.
obviously we don't see it.
I mean, it's abseiling that he does.
But he like just has his abseiling gear on him.
Well,
doesn't
they
he?
use a rope.
Yeah, but he's still like proper abseiling gear because he does the whole like drops himself down.
You can do that with a carabiner.
I don't care if he's drinking Ribena.
Oh, I've got the rain stops only for a rescue.
Yeah.
Probably because it costs too much.
So they rescue some kids and that weird
School teacher.
school teacher.
That looks like it's a nonce.
Yeah. Do we have anything else to say about this scene? I think I was falling asleep during this one, the second time.
The sharks are getting bitey. Yum, yum.
The
Doing some
tornado's not
jumps.
there, the rain's not
Tornado's not there, rain's not there. People don't seem to be shocked. Like, if that were me,
Nobody's shocked.
and I were like in a Sharknado, I'd be looting place.
there. Yeah, I would. I've got a note that says the bus driver is milking his role. Why are the sharks only jumping for Finn? Yeah, I mean, it all doesn't
Maybe
make
he's
sense.
got the tastiest meat.
I've got
Yeah, maybe.
Aussie guys wearing guy liner.
Oh, he was the pits. He was the absolute pits, that Aussie guy. They all looked like not fake, like failed actors.
Yeah, they were definitely jaded from a life of on the streets.
Maybe
begging
they
for
weren't
roles.
actors. Maybe they were just like this guy's mate and just like, you know what, I'm going to make a film about from
Yeah,
some
maybe.
Sharknado.
And
You
if
want to
he
be in
was,
it?
that's quite good. Do you know that this was originally going to be called Dark Skies, and Tara Reid was apparently lobbying for it to be called Dark Skies, and when they're like, we're going to call it Sharknado, she was like, no, that's the stupidest idea ever. Call it Dark Skies, and then was like, and now I'm so fucking happy that they called it Sharknado.
But why would they call it that? That makes no relevance.
And they probably changed it because they couldn't afford to CGI the skies to be dark.
Sharknado's great. I mean, it's not as good as Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus.
True.
Or Sharktopus. Sharktopus is good.
I love that with the helicopter scene. There's a bit where he shouts, "Watch our back!" when they're in a shot. He's got a shotgun and then a helicopter.
What? What
There's
bit?
a bit where
That were just mumblings of a crazy person.
there was a bit where
Helicopter, shotgun, watch my back. Helicopter,
they're jumping in a
shotgun.
helicopter
Yeah.
and they're flying off to take out these tornadoes with bombs, and they shout, "Watch our back!"
Yeah.
And the guys have got shotguns from the ground, and they're meant to watch the back of these tornadoes filled with sharks.
Yeah.
Which are at a distance.
Yeah.
Shotguns,
Yeah.
distance.
So what happens if like a shark?
Right, okay.
What happens if a
I
shark
wasn't getting that.
jumps out of like the water towards the helicopter?
A shotgun wouldn't reach that far. Shotgun is like a widespread doodah.
Yeah.
It's a
So if you
doodah.
aim for the eyes, it's going to get all of their eyes.
It will also get the helicopter, and
Oh.
also not impact that.
Not really. Not if they're at a certain angle. Just stop being a disbeliever.
But the
Rule 1: never question. Never question a B movie.
I think you're on the wrong podcast. All
is
we
this
ever
really
do
a
is-
B movie?
It was low budget.
No, but I mean, would it is
That's
there
a
a
bit high.
lower? Yeah, that feels like a high watermark for this film. So they go to stop off at a liquor store. Does anything of
They get some booze.
Yeah.
Tara Reid apologises to Finn.
That Nova probably like cocks a shotgun another 5 times. She loves that. And he even says some weird pervy line, doesn't he? The guy who's like, I'm too old for you. And then he's like, that's sexy. Do you remember that? It's kind of sexy when you do that. And I was like, oh, this is wrong. So they get a new truck. And do you remember the bit where they're like, we've got to outrun the cops?
Oh, is this when they get it from like in it like a prop yard or something like that? It's like that big fucking tank thing.
He's just like, look over there, and like, yeah, and then they press the NOS, the nitrous oxide button. Oh god,
I'm sure it's like a prop yard,
something like that.
Yeah, it's not a legit truck, is it?
It's like some sort of fake thing, because it's like, oh, we're in Hollywood, and then they go get this big fucking pimp mobile.
Yeah, but it's like a Hummer, isn't it? Like a really big...
Like an armoured Hummer.
Monster truck Hummer.
And then they fire the NOS, outrun the cops, and then get to flight school, where that woman gets sucked through the roof. Do you remember that bit?
I just don't get why they're riding in a fucking cupboard.
They must be doing some kind of tuck and roll thing. Like,
is that some sort of weird sex thing?
No.
Like,
what are you tucking?
Your willy.
What, between your legs?
Yeah.
And then just roll around on the floor.
But you roll, would you not?
Crush it underneath.
I'm trying to do the logistics of this.
You kind of like tuck it in, hold your legs together.
Oh yeah, no, the legs would stop it crushing it. Yeah.
And then, well, don't say, now I get why it's good.
She'd make a better man than me. She knows how to protect her dick.
You'd be in that, what's that, Puppetry of the Penis play or whatever.
What?
There's like it's not a play. It's like a theatre production where these guys basically get up on a stage in front of loads of people and like do...
Have they got fishing
stuff
wire
with
around the dick?
dicks. No, they like put the ball sack over the top and go, look, a hot dog. And then they'll like do something else and fold it over and be like, look, it's a frog's head. Ribbit. And like 2 guys just do that.
That sounds like my kind of theatre.
That doesn't sound like my kind of... I went to download once and they had some like Mexican wrestling, but in between the matches, there were people who came out and like stapled shit and stuff, and one guy was like stapling just like, I think it was something like porno mags to himself, including his balls, and then put a rod through his genitalia in some way. I was like, why? I came from wrestling.
Rod Stewart. He just slid Rod Stewart to his nutsack. I think we can get to the end of this film, can't we?
Hopefully.
What happens?
Sharks
come. They decide, don't they, that it'd be a really good idea to throw bombs into the tornado because it's something to do with the cold water and the hot water.
I wouldn't think too much about it. It doesn't make sense.
Says the guy who counted up the cost of the shark meat or whatever.
That bit, I was like, this is going to be stupid, the cost of shark. And then I was like,
it's a good B movie.
It's to try and like disperse it, isn't it?
Yeah. So they do that, don't they?
Yeah.
They stop it, but one of them gets eaten by 2 of them get eaten by a shark.
Nova falls out of the helicopter and gets eaten by a shark.
I was really happy when that happened.
Yeah.
I really hoped that was
a bit annoying. And then the Finn gets a chainsaw and jumps in the mouth of that exact shark.
The exact shark.
To say that there's like thousands of sharks floating around.
Well, the budget wasn't that high. Hundreds. Tens.
I don't know. I mean, how much does it cost to do copy and paste?
Wig change.
Yeah. I just put a mirror in the middle, so you've just got the same thing twice.
Did you say wig change as if they put different wigs on the shirt? I want that version.
So yeah, he jumps into the mouth of that shark to save his one true love.
Yeah, but it's not his one true love. Do they become lovers in future films?
Yeah.
Really? What, him and Nova?
But doesn't he make out with Tara Reid at the end of this movie, though?
Yeah, but then they become lovers, and then it's
I thought she was like, oh, Matt, about his son.
It's some weird like love affair, though.
Okay.
It's some weird rewrite.
Or I might have just made that up, like fight scenes.
Yeah, earlier we had a top 3 selected and Katty just made up her own. And it's just like, oh, we're doing top 3 fight scenes, are we? And we're like, no, that's not what anyone said. It's never been written anywhere, never been mentioned anywhere.
You're all about tops off car park fights.
Tops off car. I'll fight you in car park. Tops off.
So what are we thinking of this film? Who wants to go first?
I mean, I will. It's fine. I don't care. I love it.
You love it, though.
I enjoy it. It's just fucking stupid. It's stupid, and rule one is you don't question it, you just accept it. Accept that there's flying sharks biting people.
That sounds a bit rapey. Don't question it, just accept it.
Just lay there and take it.
Yeah, that's the motto of Sharknado.
Just say yes.
Yeah.
Or don't say anything at all.
Yeah, if you say it best.
Is that what Ronan Keating was actually on about?
Maybe. Oh, that's a bit dark.
Yeah.
Oh.
You said
He'll be the next.
When you say
He'll be the next Bill Cosby.
at all. Oh, I don't think I'll be able to listen to that. Well, not like I listen to it every night.
What are the rest of the words to that song, though? I don't know.
The smile on your face. I know that you need me.
Oh.
There's a truth in your
eyes.
Not in your ass. There's a truth in your ass.
This is getting weirder.
Yeah. The touch of your hand. Anyway.
It's a really weird, intimate song.
Yeah. So you think it's a luxurious cheese?
I do. And I know what you guys are going to say. I know you guys are going to say you fucking hated it. And you wish that you'd had... I mean, how many times have you watched it now? Twice. So 3 hours of your life.
Jam?
Yeah, I'll go next. I weirdly enjoyed it more second time round.
Okay.
Yeah. The first time I was like, this is the worst thing to ever be put on film. But I think it was because I don't watch these films. I don't watch Shark vs. Octopus or...
Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus.
Yeah.
Sharknado.
So I had
Crocosaurus.
no idea. Like, even things like when it started and there was no production companies, it just started. Like, the sharks just came on. I was like, oh, right. And I kind of didn't know what to expect. It was... but yeah, it was utterly dreadful. But watching it a second time, I was like, yeah, I can see why some people might think it's fun. It wasn't as painful, but yeah, I still think it's utter shit. Like, definitely spoiled milk. Like, I never want to watch another one of these.
I mean, well, you'll have to when I'm making you watch.
How many are there?
Crocosaurus versus...
Oh, fuck me.
Oh, how many of the Sharknados are there?
I think there's 6.
Oh, fucking hell.
I think the 6th is coming out this year. I watched the trailer for every one of them. So I was like, let's see what's coming up.
Well, who made the beer for it?
Oh, yeah, Northern Monk.
Yeah.
Did a Sharknado.
Oh,
It was the
no,
blood
no.
orange and sea salt. That was a good beer. That was a really good beer.
I didn't manage to get any.
Oh, no. You need to make some more. Anyway,
Come on,
Hobo.
Northern Monk. You're clearly one of our listeners.
One of 3. Shitty Nick Deere. Neil.
Hey, I'm going to defend shitty Nick Deere for the rest of my life. I love him.
So what did you think of Sharknado?
I think this is a film built around the phrase "jumping the shark," isn't it? It's
Jump in my car.
Jumping. No, is that like a Paul Newman song or
Hasselhoff.
It's Hasselhoff.
Hasselhoff?
Yeah. You're thinking about here in my car.
And that's Gary Newman.
Gary Newman. Paul Newman's the actor, isn't he?
That's who I was on about earlier. When I was talking about Road to Perdition right at the beginning.
Paul
Newman.
Newman.
Hey, full circle. What was that face?
I didn't like it.
No, I think
That
it
was
scared
the
me.
future of time looping
Yeah.
into our minds. Did no one else feel that?
It looked like you had a brain hemorrhage.
Oh no, that's horrible.
It's just my face, guys.
So what did you think?
No, just
No.
all the nose.
Was there anything that you enjoyed about it at all?
No.
No.
When people say, "Oh, it's just like a," no.
What was worse, Sharknado or Loaded Weapon 1?
Sharknado, easily.
Sharknado or Hereditary.
Sharknado, like, as much as I didn't like Hereditary and
Is this
Loaded
the
Weapon
worst
1,
you've seen for this podcast?
for this podcast, yes.
Yeah,
There's probably
me too.
there's only one film I've seen worse than this, and that's what's the one with all the birds? The Birdemic.
Birdemic.
Oh.
It's got the guy from Charmed in it.
And
Charmed?
if you think
Charmed.
about all the images in Sharknado of sharks, replace them with GIFs of sharks, as in moving. That's what Birdemic is.
Whoa, they're pterodactyls.
They're turkeys, aren't they? I thought that was like little giphy turkeys. So, this is how bad the film is.
I would never watch this film unless it was for this podcast. I never. So why have you watched Birdemic?
Someone sent me it.
More for you.
Yeah, no. Just no.
So, Spoilt Milk?
100%.
So this film is Spoilt Milk for Sharknado. Until next time.
Oh, I'm thinking of something else.
What? Yeah, no. Birdemic is... It's like... I think they're chickens, actually, or something, but they look like turkeys, and
They look like some sort of eagles, but yeah, the
You're
one
not
that I'm
talking
thinking
about
of in Birdemic, it's something else. It's kind of like Birdemic, as in it's got the same similar name, but yeah, it's about like pterodactyls, and it's like based up in like World War II times.
and
there's
When pterodactyls were at their height of power.
Yeah, they just fucking shit up.
Birdemic is worse. But Sharknado is probably the worst film ever that we've ever done on this podcast, ever. Fucking get out of my face.
Guaranteed I can find worse.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, no, this isn't a challenge. This is... I want to do films that I might like.
Okay. Tough
Okay
shit.
then, until next time. See you later, Hobo.
Bye.
See you, Katty.
See you later.
Bye. Bye, Papa Chan.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Spoilt Milk Movie Podcast, you pieces of fucking shit.